Hey everybody, happy Saturday from Buenos Aires. It's around 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. I'm blogging right now to give you a little bit of an update on my weekend so far, what's been going on. One, you'll notice I'm not wearing a shirt. It's really, really hot in here and I refuse to put on a shirt right now. I had the air conditioning on, about the first time I really used it. So I'm trying to cool down right now, so we'll keep the webcam high to be decent. Today, big event was Gay Pride in Buenos Aires. It was really, really exciting to go to see what Pride would be like in Argentina. It was bigger than I thought it would be. I think somebody told me at one time they'd get maybe a couple thousand people, 2,000 to 3,000, but that's not the case. I think those numbers are about 10 years old. I read something since then that it's about 20,000 people. So pretty good in size, but still nothing compared to one like the Pride that Minneapolis or LA gets. Numbers are much smaller. And also compared to other social movements down here. 20,000 is a lot of people going out there, but they'll have other movements that'll get 100,000 people. So it's still relatively small numbers in comparison. A couple other differences. One thing is that it's called the Pride March. It's not the Pride Parade. And I think the distinction is important for a couple of reasons. One is by calling it a march, it's more politically focused and oriented. It's more like a political protest as opposed to just being just kind of a festive event in many ways. Also, the difference between participant and observer in the parade is something you don't see in this march. Because it is a big march moving down the street, there's kind of this interesting interchange between people who are kind of watching it on the sidewalks and stuff. Nobody's actually like sitting on the curb or anything. And kind of the entire street filled with people who would normally be watching it. Say if you go to the Pride Parade in Minneapolis or in LA, you'll have most of the people sitting on the side. Meanwhile, some float goes down the middle of the road, and there's this huge space, open space between them. The festival here, it's completely different, whereas the entire street is almost completely packed. In most of the parade, or most of the march, you can't even move that much because it is so packed with people. And the only times where you'll see people kind of on the sidewalk is if they have nothing to do with the march and they're just kind of walking by, or if you need a break from the big crowd, you can kind of go over. And I think that's a really interesting dynamic between participant and observer in this. It can make the people feel a lot more empowered. One of the things I was interested in observing was whether the parade was still a very political orientation, because in many ways I feel like Pride in the United States has been hijacked, this isn't a new argument, by kind of commercial interests. So you see like the Bud Light float really doesn't care anything about it, but they're going to have a Bud Light float because they can sell to gay people that way, and that makes the parade huge, makes it more of a party, but less political in orientation. One of the things I noticed about this parade is that it did an interesting, good job, I think, of intermixing the two, where you had the organizations kind of pushing for their interests, but it was still kind of a non-stop party on the street. I've never seen anything like this in Argentina, where the parade route goes from La Casa Rosada, which is the president's house, to the Congress. It's about 10 blocks. Going those 10 blocks took about 2 hours because it moves very slowly, and it's just kind of a slow-moving dance party. It's absolutely crazy. You'll have the little kiosks that are selling, the regular kiosks that are just selling anything from water to chips, but they also sell beer and cigarettes. And people are just walking over, buying a beer, coming back to the party and dancing next to the floats, drinking their beer, and I was smelling pot everywhere too. So it was really, really cool. Really, really cool to see how I appreciated the how it remained political, but they were still there to kind of celebrate and party, to have some pride. So I thought that was great, and I've never seen so many out travestis in Buenos Aires. Travesti is kind of something like a transsexual, but not really. I won't get into a long conversation of what exactly it means, but it was really cool to see all that, and I'm really, really happy to have seen Gay Pride in Buenos Aires. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box. Otherwise, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.